Well, I'm going to ask you to guess on my behalf. This doesn't make any sense. I'm going to ask you to guess.
Kinda dropped off all the things I love. Like I need a traffic jam to keep in touch. I can't focus on the words unless my hands are busy. I can't give up on the world or I will leave this city. And it's way too broad what I'm trying to say, but I write it down and let it go. And it's hard to know all the words I need to explain my heart in a single note.
Matt, go ahead.
Hello, and welcome to WayTooBroad. This is Hannah's mother.
Only my mother.
Uh-oh, Hannah. Oh my God, your status has slipped out. I'm sorry, Ben. I love you very much.
Yeah, it's a show and tell program for really, really ridiculously excited grown-ups, and apparently we have 2 guests this week. But I'm Hannah. These are my co-hosts, Erin and Ben.
And your
hi,
surprise guest.
Hi, Hannah. Hi, Ben. Hi, KYLIE. Hi, Aunt Brown.
Hello.
Wow. Incredible.
What a night.
I'm a live studio audience.
Hi, Uncle Brown.
Hey.
Do you want me to also explain what has happened?
Yeah,
so that
please
people
do.
Know? Okay. I didn't notice you sent a Marco Polo too. Okay, so we had we decided to do something new and fun and different and record using Discord instead of Google Meet, and then Discord fucked us, and so we lost 1/3 of the audio for the first section of the podcast. So we did some fun upfronts. Fortunately, I think one of our main upfronts I talked about, and then Erin talked about it immediately afterwards in almost the same words. So it's my audio that we lost, but I think we'll be able to.
That's my new disaster recovery strategy, is that I'm going to just
Redundancy.
repeat all of you.
Okay.
So this episode is going to be very Memento-esque, where things are going to happen first in your timeline, and then you're going to realize why later as I throw things together through the magic of creative editing. So sorry in advance. Enjoy this avant-garde edition of WayTooBroad. We're making it happen.
And now there's a little do-do-do as we go to Kylie's obsession.
Yep. Here it is.
Yeah.
KYLIE, what's your obsession?
Do-do-do-do.
Oh, it's me. That's right.
Yeah, that's why you're here.
That's true. My obsession is a video game that I've been playing, and it's called Wildermyth. Some people pronounce it Wildermyth. The devs don't care what you call it. But
Did they say that?
She knows the devs.
Do you?
They did, because I work with one of them. Yeah.
Oh.
Which I didn't know until after I heard about the game. But, yeah, Wildermyth. It's a really cool game that you can get right now on Steam. It came out this year, and the best way I can describe it is it's sort of like the best emulation of like the dumb antics that D&D parties can get up to in a video game that is single player. So basically the way that it works is it's like a procedurally generated RPG that has a lot of like storytelling devices. So you can play, I think in the full release, up to 5 different campaigns, and then infinite like generated campaigns that don't necessarily have a main like plot. That and you basically start off by customizing 3 characters, and it has all the D&D stuff that you might imagine, like different traits that they have. There's like 3 main classes you can be, and then the gameplay is like actually watching like these comic panels that come up as the characters interact. And you get to make like major choices throughout that. And then you'll also enter combat, which is like turn-based, like your classic turn-based RPG combat. And if you look it up, if you look at the art style, it's kind of, the combat itself is sort of like, you have like 2D models on a board that you're moving around on tiles. It's really unique looking, and the monsters move the same way. It's like fairly cartoonish, I guess, overall. But the dialogue and like the various like conditions that can occur based on choices you make and the characters you create is like so fulfilling. The reason that it's been my obsession is because I've never played a game like it. It's like, it's kind of genius what they did to make it feel like you have somehow made these characters come alive and your choices matter a lot. And
Carry on.
Ben's fetching the cats. Yeah, it's really cool. It's like started off, I think, like as a smaller game that was demoed at conventions a few years ago, and then it kind of blew up recently. And now it's like, I think Metacritic is calling it like #1 game for 2021 so far, which is crazy. It has like a really small dev team, and it's just super unique. And I honestly think anyone who is into RPGs, D&D, that kind of thing, it is a great game for. They have really good difficulty levels. I'm just playing the like adventure, which is the basic difficulty level, and then you can choose if you want to have your choices be permanent, so you can't like go back on a save file. If someone dies, they die, and I'm playing that way because it feels more real.
Yeah.
I didn't even talk about the crazy cool stuff about it, aside from the main things, is that as you play, your characters age. So, like, they grow old, and they can die, and they can have children, and then you can play as their children in the next adventures. And if your characters survive to the end of a campaign, you can, like, save them as legacy heroes that have, have a legacy and are famous, and in your next campaign you might be able to recruit them, so you can like play with your old legacy heroes. If they survive, you can play with their kids. It's just really cool. They like work that stuff in so that all the stuff you did in this world kind of like carries over. Yeah, it's super cool. But yeah, I'm excited to learn more about it. I found out I work with one of the designers on it like recently.
I was gonna ask, like, how did that happen? How does that work if your company didn't make it? Is it just that person like switched jobs and that's kind of the pace of game development?
I don't actually know. I think that he has been, that person that worked on the game has been on vacation since I found out he worked on it. So I haven't actually been able to like talk to him about how it happened. He might have not been working at my company when he worked on it because he's not actively working on it right now. But I just found out after I like pitched it in one of our like Slack channels as a cool game. They were like, "Oh yeah, we know about this. He worked on it." And so when he gets back, I've asked him if I can chat about it to him a lot because I'm very curious.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's super, super cool. I want everyone to try it because I think it's a really, really unique game. Like I think trying to go for like a procedurally generated RPG like this is a ambitious move. And they really pulled it off super well. Like it feels really natural. And yeah, I don't know. It just feels so smooth, which is kind of crazy. So, highly recommend. It's also not super expensive, and I think right now it doesn't have a Switch port, even though it would be a great Switch game. But I think they're thinking if it gets to be really successful, that might be something in the future.
Oh, Hannah's computer is freaking out.
Oh, it looks like...
Calling in reinforcements. We're still recording, though. I watched the preview. How long does the campaigns take to play? Like when you do when you say you can play a campaign and if they live to the end, like how long is that?
They're varying. They're split up by chapters. So the first campaign is meant for like first time players and it's 3 chapters and it took me like maybe 4-ish hours total of gameplay. It's not too long. I played it over like 2 days. And then the second campaign is 5 chapters. So, and it also depends like what you do. If you choose to like explore every area and do every side quest, it'll take longer. But you can also choose to just do like the main mission stuff. So
Cool. Sounds dope.
yeah.
Great obsession, Kylie. All right, Hannah, back to you.
All right, sweet. Well, great. Thanks for
I've enjoyed
Thanks
your
for
company
Wait,
this
this
whole
is
time.
perfect. This is perfect, actually, that we have Aunt and Uncle Brown for what I think
Oh.
your obsession is.
yes.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
I just need to know where the recording device is.
Yeah, I was just wondering that. Is it all the way over there in his lap?
No, it's right next to me.
Okay, great.
Oh.
Thank you.
It's
Okay.
on
So
like
we'll
I'm
have
sitting on
something.
the edge of the sofa and it's on the arm of the sofa.
That's great.
Okay. All right.
Mom, just don't talk too much. We don't want to
No.
rely on your shitty recording for the meat of this podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, consider yourself comic relief in this scenario.
Yeah, yes.
I'm like a condiment. I get it.
Exactly. Condiment relief. Exactly.
Okay. So my obsession is but I've been doing a lot of genealogy research this week. And it's been very, very, very interesting to me. I wanted to talk a little bit about why I got into doing this. Well, first off, I accidentally paid for an Ancestry.com account because Ian and I were looking for pictures of our house on there, like from other people's ancestors. And we found a couple. And then, since we had the account, we decided to like start digging in, but also like coincidentally around the same time, through like TikTok, I became kind of aware of this, partly through like, kind of a lot of the like anti-racism research that a lot of us have done in the last like year or two, and partly through TikTok recently. I became aware of this concept called like, I think it's called ancestral healing. And it's actually more of a concept for people who are descended from oppressed groups or still part of oppressed groups, like descendants of enslaved people, or descendants of Native Americans, to try to like find ways both through like this type of research, but also through like meditation and all kinds of other things to sort of like commune with their ancestors and feel more connected with like the culture that they used to have. But one thing that I've become kind of aware of through learning about the concept of whiteness and the invention of whiteness is how it also robs us white people of our kind of like actual cultural heritages. And like, I feel like I grew up thinking of myself as just very generically American or very generically white. And like, people make jokes about how like white people are the only people who will, you ask them what their lineage is and they'll start quoting percentages to you. And like, I'm totally one of those people. Right. And not that this is going to make that better, because now I'll just be able to be more specific, but like, but like, it's really, when you have nothing else to think of yourself or your heritage as, it's really easy to think, to just like become very kind of, attached to the concept of whiteness in a way that is really helpful to like the systems of power that are trying to keep us all from working together to topple them. Like that, that's sort of the point of whiteness. That's why like, when indentured servants started rising up against indentured servants and enslaved people, to like Irish indentured servants and enslaved Black people started rising up against their masters together. That's why the rich white masters started calling the Irish people white and letting them sort of rise up in the ranks, back in the day, because they wanted them to stop like feeling like connected to other groups, right? So whiteness kind of, the whole invention of whiteness and the purpose of whiteness, it kind of like divorces you without, taking it upon yourself and making the effort, from from our own cultural heritages, long story short. So I was thinking a lot about that, and I was thinking about the concept of ancestral healing, and I had this ancestry.com account, so I just decided to
On accident. As you do.
Yeah. And I just decided to just like start digging in there. And what I didn't realize about ancestry.com is that they have this is not specifically a plug for ancestry.com because I think it's run by the LDS
Mormons.
Church.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
It's a big
Oh,
Mormon church.
okay.
Yeah, the Mormons really like to like find like dead people and claim them as their own, and so that they live on their private planets and stuff.
Like
so
in the wild?
just like they'll be like, yeah, that dead person is now a Mormon and is now on my planet. It's like not fair. It's not consensual.
Well, we did it. Your dad and I both did the DNA thing. I don't remember.
23andMe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so. But anyway, I get notifications from them. Oh, it was
My Heritage that we did.
Oh, it was My Heritage. Sorry. But I get notifications from them all the time. Oh, there's a 20% match. Blah, 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 blah.
They recently sent me an updated DNA analysis that like changed my ethnicities. I thought it was kind of weird.
That is weird.
That is weird. It's also weird that you think that whatever you're saying is going to pick up in the microphone.
It'll be a
Isn't it cute of me? Well, I don't know.
No, it's
I
not
think
really
probably
your
you will,
problem
Mom.
this week, Hannah, so I wouldn't worry about it.
I was just trying to help you.
I'll get your...
It's right next to me. It won't pick it up?
No, I'm talking about Dad, not you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'll pick them up.
Yeah, so one thing I didn't realize about Ancestry.com is how many pictures there are in there of people, but also of documents and stuff, which I've been finding really, really, really interesting. And also, like, I don't know how much you guys have played in there, because I know both Mom and Dad, both Aunt Brown and Uncle Brown have done their own, like, a fair amount of genealogical research, or have been a party to a fair bit of it. And I think, I remember Dad, you used to, like, travel to different libraries to look at, like, microfiche and stuff sometimes, right? To, like, yeah, like,
so now you're
a lot
asking
of
him questions. Now you're actually bringing him into the conversation after that whole hubbubaloo.
He said, yeah.
Yup. I remember him telling me about it when I was younger, and I remember caring very, very little. But I do care now.
Getting old is something else.
So Hannah,
like,
I'm coming closer to the microphone so you can hear me.
Thank you for your service.
Do you, does that mean that the next time we're over by the cabin, you would like to go take a look at this house I grew up in?
No, thank you.
Yeah, she's not that into genealogy. It's too recent. That's too recent.
Can I just say something about this, though, as long as I'm intruding on your program anyway? I do have a lot of information, but more importantly, I really would recommend to you guys to document any stories that your parents can tell you and information that you can get from them, because I had some opportunities to do that I'm really sorry that I missed. But I also had a third or fourth cousin who did a tremendous amount of research on the Ferrari family, and I have all of that documentation, as well as some other stuff I've done both on my mother's side and on my father's side.
Yeah, and I actually have a lot of old family pictures, but I'm not sure where the package is. But I'll find them someday, and I'll make sure you see them. And they have a lot of information on the back of them, you know?
Yeah, maybe we could scan them into Ancestry. The family tree that I've been making is private right now, but when I got it like a little more filled out, I was going to share it with like family and kind of make it public, because the cool thing about Ancestry.com, besides all the pictures and stuff, is that member trees are set as public by default. I put mine to private manually, but most people don't. and I guess it's not that shady because they do tell you right away that that's what they're doing, but it's cool because you can benefit from whatever research people have already done. And a lot of times the best way to find like old family photos is through other people's family trees, not public record, right? Like you can find a lot of cool and interesting like photos of old census data and photos of like arrival papers from when people came like to America and stuff like that on like out on their servers and stuff. But for like old photos of actual people, the best source, because people will just like scan and upload their personal photos, is the member trees. So
I will say, Hannah, that the whole French Huguenot connection.
Yeah, I haven't gotten that far back
there's
yet.
like so many people love that connection that you will find reams of research about that branch of your family. I mean, I know a lot about it anyway, but
but they're not Browns.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, don't
they
bother
found
with
it. They found it in town in New
To
York.
be totally honest with you, Mom, I did sort of dig a little bit deeper into the Brown side of the family, specifically because I knew I was going to talk about it on this podcast, and I wanted to have some fun tidbits to share. And also, for some reason, I need to get with you about like putting in like grandpa's parents' names and stuff, because for like almost any name that you put in, it'll immediately like they have like an AI. Have you guys been on Ancestry? Anybody on here?
I have.
No.
In
Years
fact,
ago.
Hannah, I was going to say to you, I have because they get me every once in a while. But remember, I posted a picture and I said, "Oh, look at the nose on this picture." Do you remember that?
No.
It was a photo of an ancestor, a German ancestor.
Oh, and that was after they got you one time.
Did they come to your house? Like, how does that work? Did they lure you with chocolate?
No, it was like an old picture. It was an old picture. And I got it. I think I got it off someone else's account.
It's like a nightmare when they arrive.
What did he say? Both for me and for the listener who probably couldn't hear.
So it's like a nightmare when they arrive.
Oh. They come to your house and sign you up for an account. That's how you accidentally get an account. You can't actually. No one to this day has purposefully signed up for an Ancestry.com account. It's all very mysterious. The origin.
So yeah, so let me tell you about.
Give us some tidbits.
I'll tell you some tidbits.
Yeah, I guess some tidbits. Thanks for catering to me, Hannah. I would have stormed off in a huff if none of this related to me.
You're welcome. Okay.
How do you think I feel?
You should feel enthralled.
Did you know that our great grandmother was named Kunigunda Ferrari?
No, is this related to the cars? Ferrari cars?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I don't know.
It's a really common name, I think.
Yeah, they were. Dad, remind me again. I already forgot. It was Ferrari with an I at the end of it when they were in Italy, and then when they moved to the U.S., they like Americanized it to Ferrari with a Y.
Yes, he says that's correct.
Is that like Papa's parents?
That's Papa's parents. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Papa's mother.
Yeah. And Papa's so our grandfather's hold on. I'm sorry, this expanded weird. Yes, our grandfather's father's father died when he was only like 24 years old.
Oh,
Holy
wow.
shit.
He was younger
Yeah.
than that. He was 21.
Wow.
Nelson.
But they had
What?
2 kids.
Yeah, he was 21. He had 2
But he-
kids. But
He still spermed it up before he died.
Thank you.
That's
This is why you're
key.
the new
No,
host.
actually, let me tell you the story, because if I had known this whole story when we were having children, I probably would have named either you or your brother Nelson. Because I just think that his story is so kind of heartbreaking. He came from a family in Western New Jersey, around the Delaware Water Gap. They were poor, like dirt farmers. But he went to the city, to Paterson, and he met a girl, and the girl was an Irish Catholic, and so his family disowned him for meeting and marrying this Catholic girl. They were only married a couple of years because he died. I don't know what he died of, but they had, right after they got married, when he was about 19 or 20, they had a little boy named John. And then she got pregnant again almost immediately, and then he died. And then their second child was born, and she was living with her intensely Catholic family by that point. Mm-hmm. And she named her son Aloysius, and that is your grandfather. My grandfather. That's my grandfather. And
yeah, our great grandfather.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and then she, his name was Nelson Brown. His wife's name was Margaret Hoban.
You're kind of hogging this.
We came this close to not existing at all. I mean, just like one fight before he died, and she turned him away in bed, and we would not. None of us would exist.
Wow.
So
that's crazy. That's crazy. We don't know how he died.
Kylie and Aunt Brown would probably exist.
You two.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Well, this podcast
butterfly effect. None of us.
Yeah.
I'm sure I would still be here. I just wouldn't be so happy.
Yeah.
Something would be missing from my life.
And you wouldn't know. You would just be like,
I probably will have met Kylie on the street or something. Like she might live in an apartment away from me, and we'll think that, oh, she seems nice, but we'll just go on with our lives.
Before you know it, you're a
They would run into each other one day and say, do you want to start a podcast?
Well, probably I'd invite her to some Christmas party or something, and then we'd go about our lives. It could take years.
But
you would have met someone else. You would have had a different son named Blen. Maybe Blen and Kylie would have hit it off.
And a daughter named Blana.
And Lucas gets to keep. It would also be Lucas.
Yeah, no matter what, you were gonna have a son named Lucas.
Yeah. Blana.
Everyone knows that.
Lana, Lucas, and Blen.
That's a constant. He's like the rock in the middle of the time stream.
He's the invariant.
But in both timelines, you end up as a host of this podcast.
WayTooBroad.
But in that timeline, it's called not narrow enough.
We're all subject to the timeline. You can't.
By the way, I'm guessing you've been watching Loki. Have you?
No.
Oh, it's so good.
Wrong.
Did you enjoy episode 5?
What?
I don't know why I said that. I don't know.
I guess I have seen up. I just don't know what episode
Good one,
number.
Kylie.
But I like a lot.
And it maybe in an alternate timeline, I'm watching Loki, but not in this one.
I'm not watching.
Well, they talk a lot about alternate timelines, so
Oh no,
that's pretty much its whole shtick. It's all about time travel, but it's fun.
I like this view. Okay, so another thing that was interesting that I kind of detected and then confirmed by talking to Dad is that there's a lineage from our family that comes from Italy, and for the life of me, I can't find it right now. I've been clicking around looking for it. But they're Dad, who are the mountain folk Italians in our lineage? That's the Ferraris. That is the Ferraris too. Okay, so they have census. All the census data is in there, and it's so it'll scrape the AI will scrape for information, and then it'll also show you the image of it and stuff. And I kept noticing that half the time it said she was from Italy, and half the time it said she was from Austria, and I was like, what is going on here? And so I asked Dad about it on Slack the other day. And he told me that because they were from the mountains near Austria in Italy, they never felt really Italian. And so apparently she used to tell people that she was Austrian all the time. Wow. And they didn't speak Italian, we think. They spoke a different language that he showed me a picture of. So it's kind of cool.
Something? Leiden.
Yeah. So it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat stuff. what I love about it is that it feels like a game because you're not like actually spending a ton of your time searching. It's more like a playing a match game, because if you put in the information that you have, the AI goes out and scrapes and searches for like matching information that it has in its database already. So you're just kind of like, oh yeah, that one is correct. That one doesn't look like it's them, and like adding information as you go. And it's all very like fun and exciting. And some of it's probably not accurate, but you know, a lot of
Will
it
you
is.
do a little like slideshow at Thanksgiving? I think that could be really fun.
Yeah, that would be fun, but I definitely will want mom and dad's help with that, since they have like more of the contextual information. So, but yeah, I think that would be really neat.
Can I ask, what about it, like, what in particular draws you to learning more about like people way back in the family timeline? Like, do you like seeing if people still look like their descendants, or is it more the
great cue?
I think the old photos are really, really interesting. I also like, so this doesn't scrape as readily, but if you go in and actually look at the photos of like the census information and stuff, it also, they also ask them what their jobs were, right? So like you can read what they were doing, and it's like really fascinating because like, or it asks them things like, do they rent or own their home? And I like those sorts of things where it's like, you're getting like a real sense of like what their life was like. And from what I can tell, in almost every branch of everything I've looked into so far, at least on this side of the family, it was extremely like a working class immigrant family, to working class immigrant family and stuff, like across the whole way. Like they were always doing things like fruit vendor, or macaroni maker was one of the jobs.
Really?
Yeah. Like stuff
is that
like
why
that.
I love mac and cheese?
That's why.
Same.
Yeah.
I had it for dinner. You know what's crazy? I had macaroni and cheese for dinner tonight and last night. Do you feel like that's a coincidence?
No, there's no such thing as a coincidence.
I also have been eating a lot of fruit this week.
Wow.
I mean, Ian and I thought it was funny that we had this fruit vendor directly from Italy in our family, and then like that's basically what Lucas and Federica are doing down in Florida. But it's not just fruit, you know. But anyway,
kind of,
we can't escape it.
it's kind of like both the historical snapshot part and then also like getting a sense of your roots part.
Yeah, I like to know what their lives were like and like kind of get a feel for that. Or like if you look at they also, in some of the census, they ask them how many children were born and then how many are still living, and that's also like I sometimes will read that like all the way down the sheet, even not from my family, because it's like just so I think it's a really interesting historical context in general for how many, like why people's families were so big back then, because you just couldn't expect. I mean, some of these people.
It's heartbreaking, really.
Yeah,
the lists are
it really
so
is.
long. Women were worn out, I'm sure.
Yeah, seriously. But it also like, you know, it also makes you think about like, you know, there was kind of this, I don't know, I get the sense that like a lot of parents in that sort of time in like the late 1800s, early 1900s were kind of cold to their children. And I always felt like that was just like some weird cultural thing or some weird Catholic thing or something. And like looking at these numbers kind of made me realize that it was also sort of like how much emotional investment, maybe also kind of like how much emotion am I able or willing to invest in this child before they've like proven that they're viable, you know, like it's like awful to think that way, but it's also about your own like emotional survival, you know.
Interesting.
So it's just, I just think it's really interesting, like to just on the whole. And the other thing that I do think it is interesting to look for like parallels to the way that we are. Like I've always noted that our family tends to spread out a lot. Like we live in a lot of different places. A lot of families are not like that. And like we also did some research into Ian's family, and it is highly concentrated in New York State. And our family is not. We've been in, I mean, he has some branches that are like in Pennsylvania and in like Massachusetts and stuff. But like we have family that was in Vermont. We have family that was like out in St. Louis for a long time. We have family that obviously like more recently moved down south, like, and we all know that like our family today is like very spread out. But like, it's just, it's interesting to see that too, and almost feel like, I just feel like as we were looking through Ian's stuff, it was just like New York, New York, New York, New York. And ours was kind of like more everywhere. And it kind of like makes me wonder, like, is there some element of that has been passed down as well? Not necessarily in our genes, but like in the way that we all, like what we all value. Right. You know, I don't know.
Macaroni.
I don't know. So it's just interesting.
Fruit macaroni.
Fruit macaroni. Right. Exactly. So it's cool. I'm going to keep doing it. And definitely I'll work with mom and dad to show some stuff at Thanksgiving. I think that'd be really cool.
Nice. That sounds very fine.
Just fine, though.
But no, like, fine, like you might say in olden times, like, very fine, you know?
Erin, have you seen Mimi's yearbook photo from, like...
I don't think so.
I'm going to send it to you with it says she was very popular and she was like the student body president her sophomore year, which I buy. Yes. Wow. Hold on, I'll send you the whole page.
I mean, what a rad lady who doubts that, honestly.
Nobody. No one should doubt it. Oh, I already saved it. Let me upload it. While I'm doing that...
Extremely weird yearbook descriptions. For, like, did they write these themselves or did the teachers write them?
Oh, you're looking at it?
Yeah. I don't want to...
I can't see it.
Us, but I was
there
going
it
to
is.
say the year.
There it
For
is.
another time.
I sent it.
Thank you.
Can you see her?
Yeah, there she is. Wow. You know, I think Chloe looks a lot like her.
I actually agree with that.
Yeah.
And apparently the woman who's right next to her, Nadine Shea, is the woman that she named Aunt Deanie after.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Okay, here's the description. I'll read it for the listeners. This is our Mimi, our grandmother. It says, since her first year at Catholic High, Ruth has been popular. Her classmates chose her as vice prefect for the sophomore year. She excels in all her work and is truly a credit to our class.
Wow.
Do you not find it weird that the other ones are like, this person is really attractive and popular?
I'm coming back. I'm intruding again just to tell you. Deanie Shea was one of Mimi's closest friends in high school, and she loved her name, and so she named Deanie after her. And I knew her. She used to show up from time to time. They kept in touch for many, many years.
She's a tall, dark, attractive girl.
She's tall and dark. I remember that. She's quite tall and thin. She's dead now. But just like everybody else in that book. Anyway.
Tossing that fact out. Yeah.
All right. I'm going back to my chair.
Go back to your chair!
He has a very nice new chair.
Do not get out of your chair until we tell you can get out of your chair.
Yeah, cool. So that's mine.
Wow.
Yeah. It's fun.
That's great. Wow. Everyone dies.
Yeah, it does kind of make you very aware of your mortality. And like you think it's also like, oh, but the other thing that is kind of fun is that I keep on like looking at when the year that people were born and trying and comparing it to like how old I know my house is to see how many generations back I have to go where like my house existed and these people existed at the same time. And that's kind of cool. And you don't have to do it with my house. You could do it with like some other thing in your life that is old, you know. But if you wanted to do it with my house, like think about like 1850 or so, and that I don't know what
year our building was built, but I looked up the make and model of our toilet, our tankless toilet, and realized you can buy it on like antique store websites for like $1,000 because it's from 1929, I think.
Oh my god!
1909 or 1929, something like that. It's like 100-something years old.
Ben's anchoring his genealogy research on his toilet. Hannah's anchoring hers on her house. Find the thing that you're sentimentally attached to and anchor your research on that.
That's right.
I love my turlet.
What did he say?
He thinks their building is probably pre-war.
Ah.
I don't fucking
I also
know.
found some descendants that's fought in the Civil War for the Union. So that's
Wow.
good. Yeah.
That's good.
Wow. This is a little nailed
Dodge that bullet.
Or ancestors, I should say. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Cool.
so cool. Yeah, anchor your research on your favorite thing.
Your turlet.
Your favorite old thing.
What if your
Turtle
favorite
thing.
thing is like your computer that you built this year or something?
Then your research is going to be easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow, very cool. And a timely one to have Aunt and Uncle Brown cameo in their first ever WayTooBroad cameo.
A really good last obsession, Hannah.
Really going out on a high note. You're going out on a high note. Aunt Liz is definitely coming in on a very high.
I am. That was very high. I'm sure that won't be picked up. It was outside the realms of human sound, mostly.
Erin, what's your obsession?
Yeah, I'm going to make mine a minute long because number one, it's not that strong. And number two, this podcast is going to be a bitch to edit and I'm not going to make life any harder on myself. So my obsession is a podcast. It's called Don't Ask Tig, and it's advice podcast from Tig Notaro, where you're not supposed to ask her advice, but she answers listener advice, and she always has a special guest on. And I've just listened to a few episodes, and they're really funny. She has guests such as Will Ferrell, Glennon Doyle, Nicole Byer, Ira Glass, Sean Hayes, Reggie Watts, Carol Hines, Stephanie Allen, Indigo Girls, two of the actresses from The L Word, David Sedaris, Stephen Colbert, Roxanne Gay, Reese Witherspoon, Sarah
all
Paulson,
these off the top of your head, huh?
Molly Ringwald, Gemma Apatow, Paula Poundstone, Fran Lebowitz.
Okay, wait.
Jack Snyder.
She got Judd Apatow and Paul F. Tompkins.
Did I say that?
Yes.
So anyway,
Wait, I don't even see Paul F. Tompkins on here. Did you
I
actually
said I
say
meant
that?
Paula Poundstone. Anyway, it's funny. It's great. It's the episodes I've listened to so far are of course hilarious because Tig Notaro is so funny, and she gently scolds everybody. Even the podcast called Don't Ask Tig, she's like, asking me again. But anyway, it's like she gives bad advice.
I love it.
Almost on purpose to these people, and it's really nice. So check it out. We stan Tig Notaro.
Yes.
Yeah, she is awesome, actually. Yeah.
We love her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. So that's my podcast.
Yes.
Podcast.
That's my podcast. Enjoy. Okay.
Yeah. Homework.
KYLIE, what's your homework?
My homework is to go on Steam and buy Wildermyth and play the heck out of it. 'cause it's really cute.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. Cool. I'm excited about that game, even though I missed part of you guys talking about it. It sounds so good. I'm excited.
Yeah, let me know if folks start playing it. I'd love to talk to more people.
I did look at the link that you sent. It does look pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
My homework is check out. I don't know if there's other. Well, it's fine. Check out Ancestry.com. They're cool. They're fine. They're chill about. They're not trying to make you a Mormon necessarily. They're just.
They're offering Mormon services.
Yeah. They're doing
It
their
might
thing,
not-
and we're benefiting from it. Is all.
It might not be owned by them anymore.
Oh, really?
Buy more.
Okay, but no guarantee they're not going to convert your dead great grandfather.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think
that's actually in the terms and conditions. You have actually agreed to be on somebody's planet when you die.
I mean, I'd rather that than just like nowhere. So I'm fine with that. Yeah, and I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Anthropology. I'm on TikTok at Hannah and her cats, and that's it. No more Twitch streams. So never again.
Rip. Never again. Oh
Maybe
man.
someday. But Erin, what's your homework?
My homework is to check out Don't Ask Tig anywhere you listen to your podcasts. And it's great. Just enjoy it.
And it's great. Of course.
Yeah, find an episode you like.
Find an episode.
And that's it. That's all I got. Aunt Brown, what's your homework?
I don't have any today.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's
for
good.
you.
She's unprepared.
I'm unprepared.
Wow.
It's always nice,
well,
too.
that's
Can I give
going
homework
against your
instead?
tradition.
Oh, yeah. Oh, your father wants to hijack this now. Hold on.
Okay.
Call your parents and have them tell you a story from your family's history and write it down.
Why don't they write it down? And who said you could get out of your chair?
I'm sorry.
He is. He's right here. He's standing here. Okay.
Dude. There we go. Yeah. I see you.
Oh, you can see him now in the distance.
I'm back in my chair.
Yeah, we don't want to see your face any bigger than that. Okay.
Thanks to KYLIE and Mom and Dad for all joining us. What a
Yes, this was
And
what a
thank you,
treat.
Hannah,
Thank
for
you,
hosting
Hannah.
for so many
Hannah,
episodes.
it's been
We
such
really
a good
appreciate
run.
And thank you, Aunt Brown, for agreeing to take this on.
I wish I had some
Edit-
champagne here to
for
toast
agreeing to
you.
edit every week and to create the outline for us. Yeah, and just do all like the intro and outro stuff.
She's
Thank
really
you
trained me
for-
well to take over too.
Thanks for signing on.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's appropriate that Liz do the outro.
Yeah, why
Right,
don't you
yeah.
do the
Go
outro,
ahead.
Mom?
Okay, what is there? Are there special language for that?
Have you memorized it yet?
Are there special language for that?
Wing it.
Yeah, you know what? You're the new. Give us a new outro.
You're new. Bring your flair to the show.
All right, bye to everybody. It's really fun to be on with y'all, and we'll see you next week or talk to you. Bye. I got real close.
No, we gotta give
Love
the.
it.
We gotta give.
That's
We
perfect.
gotta give the number. No, there's
Oh no, do we have
Hannah.
to
Why don't you show
blaze
her how
it?
it's done?
Oh God.
Okay. All right. If you want to leave us a voicemail, if you want to not be a friggin' piece of shit and leave us a voicemail or text us, you can do that at 774-326-0420.
Blaze it.
I think you're kind of bitter there, Hannah. Jeez.
Well, it's
Aunt
a
Liz-
callback. Oh, wait.
Aunt Liz has been blazing it this whole time.
Is it a callback to something that they're not going to hear?
Yeah, that was a callback to an earlier joke that probably won't be in the episode, just so everybody knows. We're on Twitter at TooBroadPod. We're on Instagram at WayTooBroad. You can email us at waytoobroad@gmail.com. If you missed any of that stuff, or you're looking for our topic index to see when we talked about shrill, since I never did say that, you can find that at waytoobroad.com for anything you want. earnben.com for anything you need. maxfun.org for a cute dog on a boat. Go download Eamon's music. Thanks to Eamon for writing our new theme song. We love it so much.
Yes.
And go check them out. They're a wonderful person. And that's it. Thanks again, everybody, for joining us. What a big party.
It's best to think of this episode as a collage of sounds rather than a cohesive narrative.
Because I'm now just realizing we really should have had Aunt Brown put headphones on 'Cause I'm pretty sure the sound of us coming out of her phone is going to be.
Oh God, yeah.
You know what? It's art. It's art. And sometimes
It's
art doesn't
art.
have to be
It's
beautiful.
beautiful.
Yeah.
But it is also still that's fucking hilarious.
I've just cleared my schedule for Saturday, and I'm just doing this tomorrow.
Okay, thank you so much. The podcast candle is now extinguished.
Fine lines is fine to find time to shine a little vice and a little in the bottom of the down. Stand down, 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 in the vice. Ding down, 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 in the bottom. Hey! Touch silent and in the bottom of the night at the fine nine, down, down, in the bottom of the night. Touch silent and in the bottom of the bottom of the night at the fine Dixie. No, it's way too broad. I'm trying to say, but I write it down and let it go.